for joining us tonight. It's a great opportunity, I hope, for the students and the parents who are listening to this presentation. I'm the principal of Horizon Science Academy High School, and this is my 4th year here as a principal. There are many opportunities offered to our students at our school. One of them is career technical education pathways. But today's topic mostly is related to CCP, so I'm just going to pass that. And the other opportunity, great opportunity, is College Credit Plus for our students. The program allows eligible students to take college courses while they're at the high school. My son also graduated from high school, and I don't remember college guidance and the school promoting that program a lot in his school because it is not that much promoted or advertised, just because the cost of the whole program is paid by the school. So it is we have some kind of a structure at our school which promotes this a lot, and the majority of our students in the senior class and some sophomores and juniors as well are taking advantage of this opportunity. There, you are going to hear a lot of details about the program, but thanks to this College Credit Plus opportunity, we have students that are going to earn associate's degree when they graduate from us, which means they are going to have 2 years of college experience when they graduate. It's a great opportunity. One of our students who was accepted to Stanford University with full scholarship, Kwame, a senior, is graduating with 69 college credits. It is more than 2 years of college credits, and most of those credits are through CCP. So it is a great program if students plan when they are in the middle school, and if they pursue taking those courses while they're in the high school level, it is going to earn them 1 year or 2 years of college education, so which is a great opportunity. Again, there are a lot of details on this, and we have college counseling department here, and I also would like to thank the representatives from Columbus State Community College, the Ohio State University, and the Cedarville University for coming and presenting today. So I know I have checked the presentation, 50 some slides in 15-20 minutes is a lot of information. If you feel like this much of an information it cannot be understood in a very short time, feel free to communicate with our college guidance department. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us. We will be more than happy. Again, welcome, and I'd like to continue with Ms. Almager's presentation. Have a nice evening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I am going to go through this quickly so that when we get to the end, you can ask questions, because this is a lot of information and you're not going to remember all of it. So it will be posted in the Google Classroom and on the school website. Okay, so like Mr. Zen said, the College Credit Plus is Ohio's dual credit program. And that means that students can earn high school and college credit at the same time. So you don't have to finish your high school credits before you can take your college credits. You can do both with one class. Okay, so this program is open to students in grades 7 through 12. So if you are in the middle school, then you will contact your middle school counselor or principal or College Credit Plus coordinator at your middle school and go through the process with them. If you go to Horizon, everything will come through me, so you can ask all of your questions to me, Mrs. Almager, and my email will be at the end. You have to be eligible to be in the program. So the first thing you'll do is turn in an intent form at the beginning of the year to me, and that way I know that you're interested in the program. And then that has to be turned in every year so that I know you're interested for each year. Because we do have some students who start the first year and then they say, no, this is not for me. I'm not going to do it next year, and that's okay. So it's important that I know who's going to participate every year. And then you can apply to any public college that has College Credit Plus, well, they all do, and then any participating private college. So that's why we have a private college here to talk to you about that. And then you can apply to multiple colleges, and you have to be a resident of Ohio. Okay, so you can choose from a variety of college level courses. There are certain courses that you can take first, and I'll get into that. And you can choose them based on, some of them are based on placement testing, and some of them are based on grades, some of them are based on both. So we'll go through that on the further slide. And you can earn credit, like I said before, that satisfies both high school and college requirements. So for example, we have students taking Composition 1 this year. If they're in 10th grade, then we count that as their 10th grade English class. So they'll never have to take English 2. They will just have Comp 1, and that'll be their 10th grade English. And then when they take Comp 2, that will be their 11th grade English. So it's a really nice way to get college credits and high school credits at the same time. Students have to complete the course in order to earn credit. So just because you have taken the course and you didn't do anything, then you're going to fail. So students that fail or withdraw from the course, the class goes on the college transcript and the high school transcript. So this year I had a student who failed his English composition class, and he asked if that had to be on the transcript, and I said yes. Take classes during the summer, fall, and spring. So classes that you take on in the summer will count toward your next year's schedule. And then you can take courses. Is if you could mute yourself, please. You can take courses at the high school, the college, or online. Please mute your microphone. Everyone check if you're muted. Okay, so this year I just wanted to go over what our kids have done so far. These is for the seniors. So our seniors have earned a total of 604 credits. The top senior, who is Kwame, in CCP, he has earned 69 credits, and then he has 5 credits from his career technical program, or 6 credits. So he has a total of 75 college credits at the end of the year, which is about 2.25 years of college. So it's very exciting. And then he also, again, he got into Stanford University. 2 of our seniors will have an associate's degree when they graduate this year. So not only will they get their high school diploma, they also have an associate's degree. One of them actually finished a semester early, so she graduated with her associate's degree before she'll even get her high school diploma. And then 10 of our seniors will have over 30 college credits, which is equivalent to about 1 year of college. For all of the students participating this year, we have over 100 that are participating, and they just this year have earned a total of 983 credits. And our top student this year earned the maximum credits that they can take, which is 30 credits in 1 year. At HSA, we like to talk a lot, or kind of encourage the students to take the associate's degree pathway if they can. This is where they can earn their associate's degree, which is their 2-year degree while in high school. And this will be transferable to any public 4-year college in Ohio. So that means that your first 2 years of college are finished and you would go in with the credits of a junior, of a student going into their junior year. So that's really nice. And we like to promote that a lot for our students. It just takes 61 credits. And so if you look at, since the credit limit is 30 per year, that means that a student would need to start College Credit Plus before 11th grade for that to be possible. And in the classroom, when I post this presentation, anything that's in blue is a link. So you'll be able to click on it and go to that information. So this here is the link for the classes that are required for the Associate of Science and the Associate of Arts. In the pathway, we just want to talk a little bit about the pathway. So in 9th or 10th grade, students usually take most of their classes at Horizon, and then they can take Composition 1 and 2, US History 2, and US Government if they like. And then this will set them up so that in 11th and 12th grade, they could take all of their classes at Columbus State. And then this is just a sample schedule. You could look at this when it's in the Google Classroom, but it's just an example of how a student would complete an associate's degree while they're in high school.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what you really want to know. How can the students participate? They have to be eligible for College Credit Plus based on exam scores. This year, there's some flexibility with that, and I will let you know once you do your intent form what you need to do exactly. So I'm sure the college representatives can talk more about that too. Student scores have to show that they're ready for college level classes in at least one subtest on an exam such as ACT, SAT, AccuPlacer, ALEX, PlaceU, or MapleSoft. So the ones I'm familiar with would be the ACT, SAT, and AccuPlacer, and ALEX that we use mainly at Columbus State. And each college and university may have different exam requirements. College and universities will review the scores and they'll determine if the student is college level. And so this is not something that I decide, it's decided by the college. So if they say you're not college ready, then there's nothing that I can do about it. This year, there's some flexibility at Columbus State with the GPA of 3.0. We can get the students into the first classes, the English, anything but the math and science, we can get them in with the 3.0. And then for math, do. And then there are also some other things that can be done. So just contact me if you have other questions about that. Due to COVID-19, some of the assessment testing was not available for this year. And then according to this presentation that came from Ohio Higher Ed, they're still working on the flexibility, but I know that they've told us that we can use the grade point average. So just keep checking the classroom for any updates on the process for College Credit Plus for next year. Okay, so college admission, the students will apply for admission. So after you give me your intent form, which is located in the Google Classroom, it's actually a Google form, so you can just fill that out and then I will get your information. So after you've done that, I will email you to apply for admission to the college. So for example, if you're going to go to Columbus State, you will apply for their College Credit Plus program. You don't want to apply as a Columbus State student. There's 2 different applications there, so make sure you do the correct one. And then in a few days, you will receive an ID. And so I usually have the students email that ID to me, and that way I know that they've actually completed the application. And then I will tell you the next steps of getting a consent form and registering for classes. And so what you'll do is once you meet the admission requirements, then you will contact the college to learn about their requirements, processes, paperwork, and deadlines. So if you're not going to Columbus State, they may have different processes and the representatives will talk about that at the end. And then the colleges again have the final decision on whether or not the students can be admitted. To register, the college has their process. I'm very familiar with the Columbus State process, so that's the one that I will talk about the most here. So I'll help you with your registering your classes. They have this special packet that has the instructions all laid out, and so I just give that to the students, and most of them are able to figure it out pretty easily. But if you need help, I'll always help you one-on-one in a Zoom meeting or something. So CCP classes that you can take will help you take the classes that you need for graduation. So what I do when I'm meeting with my students, because every year I have to do a 4-year plan with them, and I go over the classes they'll take for the next year. So that's when, if they're in CCP, then I explain to them what classes they need for high school graduation and what classes they could possibly take in College Credit Plus to meet that requirement. So I'm pretty good about helping you keep up so that you're not missing anything that you need for graduation. Okay, so for the classes, just to keep a little bit of control over what the students take, they must complete their first 15 credit hours in level 1 classes. So that helps because a student, you don't want them to take an upper level engineering class because right now they want to be an engineer. And then in 2 years, they're like, no, actually, I want to be a nurse. And then that engineering class was a waste of time. So by having them do the level 1 classes for their first 15 credits, that lets you get some of your general education classes out of the way that could be transferable to most majors. So that way you're not wasting your time. And the college has their level 1 classes. And whenever I'm helping students with their schedule, I check their credits and make sure that if they don't have 15 credits, that they're taking those level 1 classes. Some classes that are not allowed. So most of the classes can meet high school graduation requirements. The main one is gym. So you can't take gym through College Credit Plus. All the other ones, there's usually a comparable class that you can take for high school graduation. You can't take the classes that are one-on-one instruction, like music lessons. So there are some classes that are like voice lessons and things like that. Those aren't eligible for College Credit Plus. Classes that have very high fees, classes that are study abroad, and then pass-fail graded courses are typically not allowed, and then like religious courses. Okay, College Credit Plus grades are on the high school transcript, and they are factored into your high school and college GPA. We weight our honors classes, so we weight our College Credit Plus classes as well. So what this means is if you earn a B, for example, in a College Credit Plus class, it will say B on your transcript, but we count it as an honors class. So in your GPA calculation, it counts as an A. And so this helps encourage students to challenge themselves by taking these classes and it doesn't affect their GPA.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, students should consider courses in a career pathway that interests them, and students should ask about that pathway to identify courses. So when we're going through our meetings with students, we ask them about the career pathways they're interested in, and so we try to keep them on track with that. And I already said this several times, but students can take the classes that can meet graduation requirements, and we will help you stay on track with that. And the limit is 30 credits per year, and this includes high school classes, and there's a formula for that, and I'm not going to explain it too much, but just know that when you're signing up for classes, if you're taking high school classes, it subtracts from the amount of College Credit Plus classes you can take. And then if you enroll for more than 30 credits in a year, sometimes we'll ask if you want to pay. At our school, most of our students can't pay. So I'll ask them, but it's typically the answer is no. So what they'll do is they'll drop a class so that they don't go over the 30 credit hours. Okay, so what are some differences between high school and college? So in high school, tests are given weekly or at the end of the chapter. In college, tests are generally fewer and cover more material. So for example, when the students were taking the history class, they had a midterm and a final, and that was their tests. So it's very different from high school. The study time in high school, required homework ranges between 1 to 3 hours. But in college, since you're spending less time in class, you're expected to do more homework. So the standard rule is usually 2 to 3 hours for every hour spent in class. So usually if you're taking a three credit college class, then you're going to want to spend 9 hours of doing homework outside of class in that. In high school, the information is provided mostly in class. In college, classwork is more independent. There's more critical thinking, there's longer writing assignments, and there's more out of class research. And I would also add, when I was in college, there was also a lot more out of class group work. So setting up meetings with a group and getting together, although maybe not as much during COVID. In grades in high school, there's lots of quizzes and tests and homework. In college, there are fewer tests, and then there aren't always homework assignments, and then they use all of that to determine the final grade. So for example, one of our students was taking pre-calculus, and he had 300 problems that he had to do each week, and the teacher would only randomly pick 3 to grade. So he had to do all of it, not knowing which ones would get graded. So that's an interesting way to set up that class. In college, the role of parents is a little different. So in high school, parents are very involved with their students and working closely with the teachers and counselor. When you're a college student, your parent is a mentor and a support for the student, but mainly the student is the independent decision maker for their college career. And there are laws in place that protect the student's privacy when they're a college student. So there are some things that can't be communicated from the teacher directly to the parent, but the teacher can usually talk to the parents if the student is there. So there are ways that they can communicate, but it has to be, the student has to be involved in it. And then if a student is on an IEP or a 504 plan, make sure you let me know, because in high school, all of that is kind of taken care of for you by your special ed teacher and your teachers, and we all make sure we're monitoring your accommodations and things. But in college, it's the student has to direct that. So if you have an IEP or 504, you have to notify the college and make and advocate for yourself that your accommodations are being met. So some benefits are earning the high school and college credits at the same time, getting a head start on career planning, experiencing college life early to understand the expectations, and then obviously saving money on tuition and textbook costs. The consequences of not doing well, students may have to pay back money for a class if they fail it or if they withdraw too late. And the grades will be on the college transcripts permanently. And then if a student fails or withdraws too often, it can impact their future financial aid, and it can impact their standing with the school. So I do have some students who failed their classes first semester, and that's the only class they've ever taken. And so now they're on probation for this semester, which just means they have to take a semester off, and then they can come back possibly in the summer. So this is the probation policy. So if a student earns less than a cumulative 2.0, then they can be on probation. And then, so students can, when they're on probation, this just says the rules, they can only enroll in one college class. for one college term and may not enroll in a college course in the same subject if they earned a D. So I had a student who got a D in her English class. So this semester she cannot take a English class. And then students can be dismissed if they're on probation, if they don't increase their GPA. And they can't enroll in any college, if they're on dismissal, they can't enroll in any classes, and students can request an appeal. And then CCP probation, it says students can appeal to take a course in the same subject if they previously earned a D or F, and then you can also appeal if you had a dismissal. So each school has their own policies for that. So those would be good questions for like the CCP advisors at the school. Okay, so College Credit Plus is free for the most part, unless you go over the credits, then you would have to pay the fee per credit hour at the public schools. And then it says for private schools, because I have not worked, I've only worked with the private school this year. Oh, I skipped it. Let's go back. I've only worked with the private school this year. And so it says that sometimes there's a small cost per credit hour for private school. So it's good to check with the school before if they're going to charge fee. And I know I'm going over on my allotted time. So basically the main takeaway from this meeting would be, if you're interested in any way at all, get your intent form to me by May 1st. And there's an option on there for option A or option B for College Credit Plus. I'll explain that in a second. The form is in the Google Classroom. And then once you've turned that in, I'll contact you with the next steps. So that's the main goal. And then it's not, the intent form's not binding. So if you fill it out and then you change your mind, that's totally fine. It's not, it doesn't mean you have to do College Credit Plus. It's just, it lets me know that you're interested. So with the expenses for college, there's an option on the intent form to choose option A, which means that you'll pay for the college classes. And then that means that you would earn college credit and high school credit, or you can choose just to earn college credit. I don't see a lot of students from Horizon doing this. Most of our students would not be able to self-pay for their classes, but that is something that you have to indicate on the form. So option B would be the normal College Credit Plus, where everything is paid for by the state of Ohio and the school. And then I'll provide assistance for the students. There are college advisors that provide assistance through the college. And then the College Credit Plus students have access to the same resources as college students. So they have access to the tutoring, the library, the advisors, anything that you need, the bookstore. And then athletes, your grades in College Credit Plus can definitely affect your athletic eligibility. So make sure you're well versed in your requirements for athletics. And then the other biggest question I get is about transferring. So in Ohio, Ohio public colleges all have to take these credits, and then private colleges, most of them do. I haven't run into one that didn't. And then there are out-of-state colleges that also will take them. I know my daughter applied to West Virginia University, and one of the things we asked them was, will you take her college credits? Because she had 26 of them, so we wanted to make sure. And they said, yes, we'll take those. And so all that happens is when you go to apply to that college, you send them your college transcript, and then they'll evaluate it and decide what they'll take, what they won't, how it's taken. So that's the nice thing. But if you ever have questions, there's transfer credit. And then there's also a website called Transferology, where you can put in the classes you've taken and the school that you're interested in, and you can see what they'll take it as. Okay, so College Ready is more than just your test scores. So we do have students that do really well on tests, but then they might not be mature enough to go to college. So you want to think about emotional and social expectations for college students. So once COVID's over, your students could potentially be in a college class with adults. So that's something to think about. A lot of our students take the same classes together, so that way they know they're going to have a friend their age that's in their class with them. So that's something that you can do. But it's just important to know the difference. And then considering the time management and organizational skills of your student, you want to make sure they're someone who's independent, motivated, able to organize themselves. Those are going to be your best college candidates. And then the grade will be calculated at both places. And then College Credit Plus credits can be used to calculate financial aid after high school as well. So the deadline, April 1st is usually the deadline. This year it's extended to May 1st. Oh. And then ACT and SAT dates, we'll be discussing those with our students. I post them in our Google Classroom. And then summer deadlines will be coming up later this winter. And then fall deadlines will be coming up usually around May. Well, I'm talking about when the registration opens, sorry. So registration usually opens for summer in the winter, and then fall will open up in the May. And then you can check with the college for the other deadlines. So this again goes over how to get started. Okay, if you have any other questions, Ohio Higher Ed is a good place to look. You can also ask me. I post everything in the Google Classroom. And so now let's go to the representative from Columbus State, which is Julie Serpa. And so if Mr. K, if you can let her talk, that would be good.
Sure, can you hear me? I unmuted myself.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Julie. I'm the CCP advisor from Columbus State Community College, and what we offer students, so you can take classes online. Right now, our college is closed, so you're not able to take any courses on our campus. But after COVID, you could come to campus and take classes. And we also at Horizon, we also have a few embedded courses. Embedded courses are the classes that they're the College Credit Plus classes, same class, whether it's online or on campus, but the embedded classes are available at your high school. So if you needed to, or if you wanted to schedule some College Credit Plus classes, but you were still taking high school classes and you weren't able to go online or come to campus eventually, you could take an embedded course, and January will help you register for those too. And usually in the embedded courses, you're with only students from Horizon. So it's kind of, beneficial to be with your friends and people that you know. So what you first want to do is before you even sign up for classes, you first have to apply. So what you'll do is you'll do the application. Generally, students apply the semester before they want to take classes. But if you wanted to take classes in the fall, and you applied this spring and then you decide you don't want to apply, you don't need to reapply. You apply once and then we can help you any semester after that registering for classes. When you apply, just some things, you want to use your legal name. So if you have a nickname, please don't apply with that because the application is just going to want your legal name on the application. When you apply, you'll need to put down an email address that you use regularly. Because you'll be receiving a acceptance email and an email confirmation from Columbus State after you submit your application. You'll get that to the email that you applied with, so you want to make sure it's something that you check. And then also your student ID number. Generally, after you apply, you'll get accepted usually 3 to 4 days after you apply. You'll get an email, and that'll be your student number. And then I think January, you want them to give that to you after they apply.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Sure. Okay. Yep. So I usually say give it a week after you apply. You'll get that email with your Cougar ID number, your student number, and then give that. And then you'll use that number for every time you register for classes. You'll put that down on your form, and that's your student number that's unique to you as a CCP student. As far as admissions go, so anyone As long as you have not, of course, graduated high school, and you're a resident, you'd be eligible for College Credit Plus. So what you do is you apply first. Then I know step 2 says submit ACT or SAT. A lot of students, as you all know, we're not able to do that. So the state has decided to allow us to use your high school GPA. So we will use your high school GPA to help you register for English classes and anything that requires placement into English. So we can help you register for a psychology, an English, a history class, those general education credits. Now, if you wanted to take a math or science, we would have to use your transcript to look at some other classes you've already taken. And we have some requirements as far as, for example, if you wanted to take college algebra, you'll need at least a 3.0 high school GPA, as well as you'll need to have received an A or B in at least Algebra 2. So if you haven't taken, or if you're only in Algebra 1, you'll have to wait after you take Algebra 2 to take a college algebra and some other math courses. But we can work with you in January to figure out what you'd be eligible to take as far as your schedule and what we have available. But with Columbus State classes, we have a lot of classes that are offered, of course, virtually online, but some of those classes, they have meeting times. So even though they're going to be virtual, they have times when you have to be online. And then some other ones are virtual and they don't have any meeting times. So you can kind of work technically at your own pace as far as doing assignments. You don't need to be online at a certain time. So what you basically would do is you would sign into Blackboard for that course, and then it'll tell you what the deadlines are for different assignments. So the pros are you can kind of work on them when you want. The cons are you have to sort of be accountable for your own work. So if the deadline, if today was Monday and you signed in a Blackboard and you saw an assignment was due by Thursday, well, you have to kind of keep yourself accountable to get that submitted by Thursday because your teacher's not going to accept it after that. So if it's Friday and you haven't done it, your teacher's not going to accept the work. So it's sort of like a self-motivation there. But you can always, if you're having trouble with classes or you had questions about your work, you can always talk to your instructors about that. If you had like specific questions about instructors or classes, I can answer a lot of those, but this will be just kind of general about that. But back to the steps. So after you apply and get your Cougar ID number, then you can submit scores. We do have a math placement test available online. So you would take that online and then you'll get your test results and then you could register as soon as the day after for any math class that you qualify for based on those scores. And then again, if you didn't want to do the math placement, we can also look at your transcript and your math classes that you completed in high school, and we'll help you register for classes then. And we'll work with you to kind of figure out classes and what classes are available as far as open seats. And, some students can only take classes on certain days. So we try to work with students to have them, make a schedule that works with your current high school schedule. And then step 3, I imagine, is just registering and submitting paperwork. When you submit your paperwork, basically the paper is saying, name and your information, and then what classes you want to take. You'll submit that to your counselor. She'll sign it. She submits it to us. Then if you're able to be registered, we will email you an email confirmation saying you're in that class. If you can't take that class because it's full or you don't have test scores or something else we're missing from you, we'll email you also and your counselor to let you know that we need that, but we'll work with you to get you into those classes. And then, but if you had further questions, I believe, January, they can put things in the chat, correct? If they had any other questions, anything specific? Sure. Yes, if anything specific about Columbus State, you can always put in the chat or email me again. We can have our contact information, but email me with questions. January can also forward me. If you email to her, she can forward them to me and I can answer you, CC her, and then answer any questions you might have after this about College Credit Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
next.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay, so next we have Kelly from Ohio State. And I think,
Mute. Hi there.
okay, good.
I'm Kelly Reveling-Cobb from The Ohio State University. I'm the Assistant Director for the Academy program, which is basically our brand of CCP for students. And we work with students that are interested in coming to Ohio State as a CCP student to take a variety of courses, either on campus or online. We don't do any embedded courses or any courses within the high schools. So you will need to plan to either come to campus or to do an online class. Right now with COVID, pretty much a lot of our classes are online, but not all of them. So we are actually having some classes that are in person or they're hybrid. So hybrid obviously means that they're a little of both. You may be on campus one day and at home online other days. There are a variety of sections even within certain courses. So if you're looking to take a math class, you may choose an all online one. You may choose one that's hybrid. You may choose one that's all in person. That kind of allows you to make an adjustment for your learning style and for your desire in terms of a college experience. Most of our students that attend the Academy are juniors and seniors. We do have some students that are freshmen and sophomores, but typically it is quite likely that the students that you will encounter within the Academy are going to be juniors and seniors who are finishing up their last courses and they've done everything at their high school. A lot of students will come to the Academy because they can take coursework that they can't find other places, specifically a lot of our world languages, because we have close to 30 different languages that we offer on campus. So students who want to take something that's not offered at their high school or at other local colleges may take a language at Ohio State. We also have a lot of higher level math and science classes that students are interested in, but we also have students who are taking arts classes and humanities classes and are doing our John Glenn internship program, which is a fantastic program for seniors where you get 6 credit hours of credit, and 3 of those credit hours are spent in a class called Intro to Public Affairs, where you're learning all about government and how it works, but also what is public affairs and how it manifests in lots of different ways, from nonprofit management to working in politics to working with lobbyists, just a lot of different things. And then the other 3 credit hours that students earn are actually within an internship. This semester, students are doing their internships virtually, which is kind of a first for the program. And so we're really excited to see all the different things that they're going to be doing and the experiences they're going to be having. Some of the other courses that students will enroll with us for are sometimes some of our music classes, like music theory, so that if they're going to be studying music in the future, that they're kind of getting some of those baseline courses done. A lot of students are looking to us to do their general education courses. They will sometimes do some general education courses at Columbus State and some at Ohio State. So that's something that you can do if you want to balance your schedule in different ways, or if you can't drive to campus, or if you have a course that's easier for you to take through Columbus State because of the timing or what have you. There are all different sorts of opportunities. We also have a great deal of meeting with students personally to kind of help shepherd you through the process. So as far as the admission process goes, if you're applying to the Columbus campus, our process will mirror that of if you're a freshman, or if you're applying to be a freshman, I should say. So you're going to submit your application and your high school transcript and your high school information form or your school information form with information about not only what you've taken, but how rigorous were the classes that you've taken and how well have you done in them. If you've also had any other CCP courses or AP courses or things that will allow us to be able to see how ready you are for the college going process. This year, ACT or SAT is going to be optional for us because of the COVID situation and the testing ups and downs, and we just decided that would be a better way to go. So if you have an ACT score that you would like to submit or an SAT score, that's perfectly fine, but if you don't, that's fine as well. We also, for the Columbus campus, because it's a competitive process, we do look at all of the other factors that go into what a regular admission consideration would be. So for example, we look at what kind of extracurricular activities you're involved in, what kind of leadership that you have shown, what other rigorous courses that you have taken. If you have already done College Credit Plus someplace else, how well have you succeeded in that? If you've done AP, if you've done IB, if you have worked, and or if you have really some interesting experiences that you want to share with us, we take all of those things into consideration for our review. If you're a student who's taking courses at a regional campus, and we have 5 of them, the process is a little simpler in that those are an open enrollment campuses, so we would just need to make sure that you meet the state requirement for college readiness. And the deadlines for our application are coming up very soon for summer. For summer, the application deadline is February 15th. For the fall, it's May 1st. And for next spring, so if you were going to take courses this time next year, for next spring, the deadline is October 15th. And those deadlines pretty much don't change from year to year. So if you're a younger student, that you can pretty much count on those being the deadlines. We have a really hopefully helpful video for you that is on our website that will go into all of these things in a little more detail. Also, our email is listed and our website is listed on the screen. I'm going to put some more information in the chat about the John Glenn internship program, and I'm going to put more information about just some of these general pieces so that you can read them at your leisure, and I'll also give them to Ms. Almaguer so that they'll be in the Google Classroom. I think I covered it all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, next we have Mr. Stephen Butel from Cedarville University. And we have 1 student taking classes from there this year.
Thank you. I had never heard of Horizon Science Academy until last summer. I'm really excited to learn more about the school and see that different offerings that it offers to students in the Columbus area. If you've never heard of Cedarville before, we're about an hour west of you, just east of Dayton. We are a private Christian school. We've been involved in College Credit Plus since it started in PSEO before that. A couple of things I want to highlight. Some of the easiest things to do to view a lot of our information will be going to our website, and that would be cedarville.edu/collegenow. College Now is our overarching dual enrollment program, much like Ohio State's Academy. But for us, College Credit Plus falls underneath the College Now umbrella here at Cedarville. So I just don't want students to get confused about College Now versus College Credit Plus. College Credit Plus just falls underneath the College Now umbrella. If students want to apply to Cedarville, they can do so at the link there at the top of the page. You can also find it multiple places on our website. And you just want to choose to fill out a College Now application. Our admissions requirements are basically the same as the CCP requirements. We require students to have a 3.0 GPA. We do require students to have a faith statement, as we are a private Christian school, as well as a Christian leader reference as well. But we do not require the ACT or the SAT at this point in time. That is optional for Cedarville through 2023. And so some students we know don't have that opportunity. For math and English courses, we still do require a test score. We are hoping to add the AccuPlacer by next fall. You can take a residual ACT on our campus if you wanted to come down. You could take the ACT. The only issue with that is you can't use that ACT anywhere else. But you could get a practice ACT, and on our campus, we are still offering that to students. We do most of the classes that CCP students take are online. Our online courses are asynchronous, so there's no live meeting times for classes for us as well. But you do have a variety of different learning opportunities in those online classes. And the system we use for our online courses is called Canvas. We do have some students that take classes on campus, but I know the drive from Columbus to here is probably not ideal for most of you, if not any of you. So I would probably recommend mostly online classes for students that be interested from Horizon Science Academy. If students are interested in enrolling in summer classes, they need to finish their applications by April 25th. Students interested in applying for fall classes would need to apply by July 16th. Again, I would direct most students that have any questions, didn't get all that information, or write anything down to our website, cedarville.edu/collegenow. You can find all of our application information there. You can find information about applying for College Credit Plus there. For public school students, that's an easy process. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can, again, ask questions through Mrs. Almager, and she'd be happy to, I think, direct them to us, and we can get those answered for you. So we're always welcoming students from all over the state. We're happy to welcome any new students from your school as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so that's the end of our presentation. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I want to ask if there are any questions before. Oh, I forgot about Mrs. Icon. Mrs. Icon, do you want to present about CTE?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I can share a short slide, 5 slides
Okay.
about our CT program. Can I share my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Kids are at home, so I have to run to a different room. So this is our CT education. As you see, we have pathway courses in 4 different pathways: engineering, health science, programming, and interactive media. And you can see some pictures from our school. And these are engineering pathway. Students take courses 3 years, and at their last year, they can go to internships. They can earn college credits and industry certifications. We also have health pathway courses, and students take classes for 3 years, earn college credits and industry certifications. Same for interactive media pathway and programming pathway. So students earn industry credentials and college credits after finishing all these courses. And we have senior only credentials where students earn Microsoft Office Specialist certifications. So that's it. I just want to keep it short.
Okay, thank you. So if you're interested in career technical classes, just let your counselor know. And when we're meeting with students, we go over that with them too. So lastly, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask them or put them in the chat. Okay, so my email is Almager. I'm going to put it in the chat, but it's Almager. It's just my last name at horizoncolumbus.org. And so most of the students are in the classroom, but if there's one that was maybe new that might not be in there, that would be just email me and let me know. I had a question about an IEP and a 504 plan. If you're on one of those, then you will know what that is. Yes, the colleges go with the right now are using the high school GPA. Julie, what is the deadline to register for summer classes?
So we usually go right up until the start of the class. So for example,
yeah.
classes start this Monday, we'll accept the form technically over the weekend, but to be on the safe side, 3 p.m. Friday before.
Mm-hmm. And I tell my students 2 p.m. on Friday so that I have time to get that done before I leave at 3.
Now that if you don't have test scores or you're not ready to register or you haven't even applied yet, you have to do all that before. So the deadline is to get the registration form into us. So you can't be applying on Friday. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get it for Monday.
Right. And then I have a question about transferring to other colleges. So you would want to contact the school that you're interested in and ask them about that. So once you get to the point where you're at schools and you're asking them questions, that would be how you would ask them. I can tell you from my experience, my daughter goes to University of Toledo, which is public. So they took all of her credits, and but the way they took them was different. So she took a college algebra, but they took that as like a math elective, and then they had her take a different college algebra class just to make sure that she was on the same, because I think she got a C in that class. So they wanted to make sure that she was doing what she needed to do. So. And then you can choose. You don't have to take summer classes if you don't want to. That's just an option that you have. But do you have any questions? Because you can ask me questions every day, but do you have any questions specifically for the college representatives? The websites to sign up for each school, I'll put those in the Google Classroom. So that'll be all there for you. Oh, this is a question. If a student fails a college class, can they retake it?
I believe that they can retake it, but they can't retake it with CCP funds.
Okay. That was my thought also. I know at my daughter's high school, like they weren't allowed to retake classes.
On the state's website too, there's a whole kind of FAQ about that process, and I literally have to go to that every time just to make sure I'm telling people the right thing. So
yeah, and things change all the time too. So
absolutely.
So it's always good to look at the Ohio Department of Higher Education. They have all the information that you ever wanted to know about College Credit Plus. If you have any of those like really specific questions like that. Okay, so Columbus State, they have summer classes. The registration is not open yet. I think that's what I was trying to figure out, when the registration opens for it in February. Okay, so if you want to take summer classes at Columbus State, you can start registering then. You will just do that through me. So if you're interested, I'll help you with the process of registering for classes.
As far as summer classes go for Ohio State, what would happen is you would apply for admission by February 15th. You would get a response from us in terms of your admission to the university for College Credit Plus, usually sometime by the end of March, beginning of April. And then students who are admitted for summer will actually have either an in-person orientation. Most likely for this summer, it will be a virtual orientation, very similar to this one that we're having right now, as well as a orientation module that you'll do online. And then after you finish that orientation process, you will meet with either the director, Michelle Brown, or myself to sit down and schedule classes. So that's the process for us. And then classes will start for summer. It could start as early as like May 10th, just depending on which session that you choose. So there are a lot of things, to consider when it comes to summer classes. If you decide to do fall classes, that process is the same, except it just moves back a little bit. So applications are due May 1st. You will hear back from us anywhere between May and June. And then we'll have orientation in July and advising meetings the end of July, beginning of August, and then classes will start. I hope that clears up. Our processes are a little bit different than Columbus State's, and they take a little bit longer.
Okay, yes, that is different. So it sounds more similar to actual college.
Yes, it is probably it's very similar to what our students have to do when they come to Ohio State as degree-seeking students.
Right. Okay, and so yes, I had a question about the intent form. So the intent form that I have in the Google Classroom, that's for participating for next school year, which starts in the summertime. So if you want a summer class, that form is the one you need to turn in. So I think we're good to finish. And any of these other questions, you guys can email those to me because a lot of them are just specific questions for you. So thank you guys. Thank you to the colleges for coming and speaking with us. It was really helpful. Thank you to Mr. Zahn and Mrs. Icon and Mr. Kaklik for running the chat and for Mrs. Kara taking attendance. Thank you everyone that came.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks guys.
My pleasure.
Yep.
Bir saniye.
Huh? Mr. K?
You are good. Just I recorded currently. So at the end of this meeting, most probably I try to send you.
Yeah, you can just send it to me and then I'll combine it Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for recording. I didn't realize that I couldn't record if I wasn't the host. So that was good.
That
Yeah.
was good reminder, right?
So now we know. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
who's
well, thank you
ending?
guys
You
so
or
much.
me?
What'd you say?
You are ending me?
Yeah, I'll end it. See you later.
See ya.